Oh my god, it's
Guys.
3:05.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the garage. Welcome to the garage. Welcome to the garage.
Welcome to the garage.
UFC 305 this Saturday, guys. Before we get into the fun stuff, we gotta do the boring stuff.
Oh no.
Shout out to Steve Ewing from The Urge for letting us use his music in our videos.
Yes.
And thank you to The Urge as well.
Yes. Every outro song you hear will be his and will be credited in the description.
Yes. Big appreciation. Shout out to him because that's a very
awesome.
very cool thing that he's letting us do. Also, join the Discord that we'll have a link in the description. It's not much right now. We have a lot of AI fighter bots, which are kind of funny. I covered Conor McGregor and a bunch of Jameson today, which was entertaining. He just kept, he kept chanting proper 12 to, counter the Jameson. It was really good.
And I turned John Jones into a sloth who was trying to eat an apple that was too hard for his soft teeth.
That was a good one.
And I poured applesauce in his mouth.
We like pouring applesauce. we like pouring applesauce specifically on things, but we also just like pouring anything on them.
They don't like
They
it.
don't like it very much. They always get really pissed off.
They're like despaired about it. Okay. Prelims though.
Yeah, getting into the actual fight things.
So I don't have a whole lot about to say when it comes to early prelims. Off the bat, we got Stuart Nicole. He's debuting in the UFC with this fight. What the hell was that? My cat just chitter yawned. And then it's 8-0 and it's his debut. Then you have Jesus Aguilar. He's 10-2 in the 10-2. 2-1 in the UFC, and his only loss is against Tatsuro Taira. So I mean that's not a bad loss by any means.
No, not at all. Possible contender. I believe there's a rumored fight with him and Pantoja.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Might be a little quick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Trying to look at. We got Song Kanan and Ricky Glenn.
This will be a good fight.
Yeah, he rocked Machado Gary, right?
Yes.
A couple times.
Pretty good, yeah. He's got good counter striking, obviously.
I feel pretty confident that he'll probably knock out Ricky Glenn.
I think so, yeah. Ricky Glenn's... They've both been around for a while. They've both got similar records. So, I mean, it's another couple guys that have been around for a while that haven't broken through super well.
He's just suffering 2 round 1 KOs back to back.
Yup.
Oh shit. Sorry guys, we did this after work, so I'm a little sleepy. But yeah, Song Kanan, Ricky Glenn, not a whole lot to say there, but I definitely think Song Kanan has the edge just with his striking.
Yeah, his striking is much cleaner.
Tom Nolan, Alex Reyes, I have literally no knowledge.
Tom Nolan's a younger guy.
24. Yeah, 24 versus 37.
He's got the height advantage. Doesn't have the reach advantage.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah, I haven't seen either of these boys fight.
It's a lightweight though. 6'2" lightweight. Is that taller than Jalen Turner?
I think Jalen Turner's 6'3", I believe.
Okay, so
but Jalen Turner's reach is a lot more. He's got a lot longer of a reach.
Get out of the trash can.
Cat's in the trash can.
Yeah, he's 6'3".
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Was close.
Yeah, but that's it. I don't have anything else to say. I'm sorry, guys. Pay attention to, I'd probably say, Stuart Nicole, Son Kanan, and Tom Nolan. Those are the, with each fight, those are the people that I'm most interested in.
Yeah.
For the prelims, Jack Jenkins and Herbert Burns. Now, no offense, but Jack Jenkins looks a little funny to me. And Herbert Burns also looks a little funny to me. It's like that picture of the golden retriever who got stung by a bee.
Herbert Burns looks like he got stuck by. He looks like he got stung by bees.
Yeah, but he's Gilbert Burns' younger brother, right? Younger brother, yes. And
he's all right.
he's got some decent reach. 73.5 at featherweight.
He's a grappler.
Okay.
He beat Nate the Train.
I think I vaguely remember that.
Yes.
I don't know how I didn't put who he was.
Yeah, he beat Nate Landwehr. But that's one of 2 wins he has in the UFC, and he's on a 3-fight losing streak right now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure.
All by KO.
Ooh, rough.
TKO, I guess, but
Jack Jenkins just got TKO'd or KO'd as well.
Yes.
Against Mariscal.
No, he got an arm injury, I think. He hurt his arm or something.
Listed as a,
which would be a TKO, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened, but yeah, he hurt his arm.
Well, he's back against Herbert Burns. I need to watch more of these guys fight. You know, I'm probably gonna go off of what you said the most and just say that Jack Jenkins will probably win, just because
he really is just kind of the better fighter.
His streak's not as bad as well.
His streak's not as bad. And he's just the better fighter in general. I'm trying to remember. I watched his fight before Mariscal when he got hurt. I'm trying to remember who that was. But he looked really good in that fight. Next one, Luana Santos. She's the one who just tapped out Maria Agapova, the drug girl that I talked about when we were talking about Namajunas and Cortez, I believe was the card that was on.
Did she get cut?
Agapova, yeah.
Yeah, that's
she
right.
got cut, and I'm pretty sure she decided that she wanted to box because she got taken down and submitted immediately.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be a good fight. They're very similar in height. I mean, I guess they're the same height. Similar in age, similar in reach. Casey O'Neal's got a 2-inch reach advantage on this one. They're both relatively complete. Santos is a kickboxing background, but she still does have good grappling. Obviously, that showed when she fought Agapova. Took her down pretty easily, tapped her out pretty easily. Casey O'Neill is more of a mixed martial artist type, so.
Going off of what I saw last time, I'd give it to Luana.
I think so too.
But that's also just because I've seen her fight.
Her last fight made me a fan. She's really good.
I know I've heard of Casey O'Neill, though, so I feel like she's someone to pay attention to. I just have not yet.
I'm trying to remember who she's fought. Because I know...
I looked at it, and I didn't know any of the names, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I know Ariane Lipsky, Jennifer Maya.
I watched some of her fights, and she's...
Oh my god.
She's good.
She fought someone named Roxanne Modafferi, who is 25 and 21.
Yeah.
Thank God she retired.
Yeah.
I think I know her actually.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say she's kind of a name.
What the hell? I never noticed how horrible that record was.
No, this one's gonna be the thing with this one is they're both relatively complete. O'Neal's gonna have a slight striking advantage, and Luana's gonna have a slight grappling advantage. And when you're looking at things like that, the grappling's gonna come into play more.
Most likely, yeah. Unless O'Neal is able to just stuff it.
And she does have pretty good takedown defense,
Yeah.
from what I remember.
Yeah, you got to be able to bridge that gap. Uh, if Casey's like decent, Luana's got to be pretty good, you know.
Yep. I believe O'Neal has a submission loss on her record too.
Okay.
And like I said, Luana's got really good ground game. So that'll help. I believe Luana's only loss is a decision, so she's never been finished. So that'll be a challenge for O'Neal, I think. I think Luana's definitely someone to pay attention to. She's really good.
Yeah, she definitely has my nod to win. So Ricardo Ramos versus
Joshua Cuilabo.
So
I recognize his name.
Yeah, Ramos is fresh off of a submission loss against Julian Erosa. And his fight before that, he got submitted by Charles Jourdain. And then he knocked out Danny Chavez. Lost to a decision. Won a decision. Got knocked out by Lerone Murphy. Submitted. Got submitted by Said Nurmagomedov. I mean, yeah, he's been fighting since 2017. Pretty shoddy record, but he has also fought some like pretty notable names that have been rising up. Yeah. Cuilabo, lost to Danny Silva in his last fight. Lost a decision to Lerone Murphy in the fight before that. Submitted his opponent in his previous fight. Decision win for him. Decision win.
He's got 5 KOs and 5 decisions.
Yeah, okay. Well, going off of the streak that Ramos has, especially since Cuilabo's last win, I believe, was a submission. Yeah, back in 284.
Ramos has he's got a good amount of submission wins.
Yeah, but his last 2 losses.
He's got 2 losses.
Yeah, I'm just going.
Julian Erosa and Charles Jourdain are good fighters.
They are.
Jourdain, I mean, they're both about middle of the road type fighters.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Cuilabo. Kuya. Joshua Cuilabo. But going purely off that streak, it's like I would imagine if I was Joshua, at least, I'd be like, I'm gonna try to take this guy down and submit him. I think.
Yeah.
Junior Tafa.
And Walter Walker. Yeah, this is gonna be okay. I've done more research here onwards. I should start at the back and move to the top because I think I obviously have more things to say about the top of the card because those are the people that I know. So I gotta start at the bottom and work up in the future. But so this is gonna be a really hard fight for Tafa. He's a primarily a striker, almost entirely a striker. He's got pretty poor takedown defense. He got taken down quite a bit in the fight against Muhammad Usman, I believe. No, he only got taken down twice out of 12 takedown attempts. So his defense is pretty good. But once he gets down, he can't get back up. He gets pinned down pretty easily.
He's good. He's a good boxer. His combinations are pretty good.
Yep, he's your
striking.
He's your average. I hate to say it, but it's very much a stereotype. Your average low level heavyweight. You know.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what he is. He's got not great takedown defense, okay striking. You know, he's got pretty good boxing. 5-2. He's not a very extensive or experienced fighter. You know, he's new to the professional scene, but he's done pretty okay with the things that he's done. He's got some performance bonuses, I believe, with his one victory in the UFC. So he's good boxing, okay takedown defense.
Losing to Muhammad Usman though.
Muhammad Usman's not as bad as you
I know.
expect. He's
also
just
not great.
He's just boring. That's kind of it. He's just boring.
I don't know. His last two performances were pretty. Not even
Not
boring,
great.
just like not good.
Mm-hmm. He
Negative.
did the same thing against Tafa, pretty much. Took him down, held him against the fence. I mean,
He landed 34% of his strikes.
he landed 79 strikes, and 7 of them were significant strikes. So, I mean, all of those were on the ground, just little tiny short strikes or in the clinch. Walter Walker is like the opposite of his brother. His brother's Johnny Walker. So, Johnny's not much of a wrestler, not much of a grappler. He usually tries to stay on the feet. But Walter is the other way around. He doesn't strike much, and he's got not great striking. It's okay. It's not the worst.
Definitely sloppy.
Sloppy. It's really sloppy.
Bit all over the place.
If he entertains the feet, Tafa's going to piece him up and knock him out. But Walter's not going to do that because he's a grappler. Look at his ears. He's got crazy cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
He's a grappler. He's the type of grappler that Tafa's not going to want to get taken down by. He's not a very active grappler. He'll take you down and he'll lay on you and he'll wear you out and he'll strike. He'll throw little short strikes and he'll put his rub his head on you, he'll wear you out and just grind on you. That's the kind of wrestling that Walter does. Good top pressure. So Tafa's going to have to be really vigilant with his takedown defense. He cannot get taken down in this fight because if he does, he's just going to get controlled, and that's going to be a done deal for him, I think. It's just going to be a rough one for Tafa. But we'll see. He might have worked on his takedown defense a little bit. It's funny, you'd think that Walter has better striking because of how many KOs he has, but it's not very clean striking.
Not at all, no. And his only fight in the UFC is a loss against Lucas Bresky.
Mm-hmm.
Something I saw that was pretty funny, but I don't think it's quite fair. Is someone said now after I was watching the Bresky fight, and someone said now Junior Tafa and Walter Walker get a fight for the worst fighter in the
UFC. I saw that too. Really mean.
Pretty rough. They're not
nowhere near the worst.
Bad. I don't think they're quite the worst. Walter Walker, I don't think I've seen nearly enough of to say if he's the worst or not, but I don't think Tafa's that bad.
No, neither of them are the worst.
Fresh as he
That's
is.
so sad. That's just unfair.
Yeah, but I'd probably give it to Tafa if he can deal with the grappling enough. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I feel like Tafa probably would need to end it pretty early, because the longer things go on, Walter's gonna get his hands on him. He's gonna get put on his back, and he's gonna get tired. And
Yep.
he's not gonna be able to have the same power. You know, he's just gonna be throwing his weight around.
It's gonna have to be a short one for Tafa.
Yeah, I think he's capable.
He is. He is for sure.
That's just definitely how I see him winning this fight.
Yeah, he's got those early finishes.
All right. For our main event of the evening, main card.
Main card.
Whoops.
This is not the main event.
This is
guys.
the main event of the evening. We got Li Jingliang and Carlos Pratis. So, right off the bat, you got Li, 19-8-0. He's 36, which I had no idea he was that old.
Yes.
10 KO TKO wins, 4 submissions. His activity has been really spotty.
It's not that spotty. He just had back surgery.
And
he has a canceled fight in between.
I was thinking since...
He has a canceled fight in 23, and then he had fights in 22. So it's not that spotty. Because he's fought every year before then.
Yeah, I guess
it's just that canceled fight makes
2
you
years.
think it is.
Yeah.
It's because he had back surgery.
Recently. Even then, I mean...
Back surgery's a big thing, man. That's not something you come back quickly from. That's probably...
2019 and 2020 only had 1 fight.
Inactive is a better way to put it.
It's a spotty activity, apples to oranges. I feel like that's semantics. But he's got notable wins over Muslim Salikov, Santiago Ponzinibbio. And those are pretty impressive wins.
Yes.
And then those losses against Chimaev, which obviously he got big brothered. He put up like a fight. I feel like he put up a little bit more of a fight than Kevin Holland did. But
he defended the takedown for like
30 seconds or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he just got put down. I think he got triangle choked, maybe. Head and arm triangled.
Yeah, triangle.
Yeah. Yeah, Lee threw 1 strike and missed it, and then was hit 58 times.
He was not hit 58
That's
times.
what they say. I don't really remember that much ground.
He got tapped out immediately.
Oh, it says 3 minutes and 16 seconds. So yeah, maybe we like skipped the gap between him going down and him being finished. It's been a while. I mean, I haven't seen that fight in 3 years now. So
yeah, fair enough. Okay.
But at Carlos Pratis, my God, dude, 30 years old, 14 KO TKO wins, 3 submissions. I would consider him a serial finisher. He's got a 9-fight winning streak. Only one of those 9 fights didn't end in a KO or TKO.
Yeah, he's a very early finisher, too.
Yeah, he's fought a lot lesser names than Lee has. You know, Lee's fought the Ponzinibbio, the Chimaev, the Daniel Rodriguez, yeah, he did fight Daniel, that's right, yeah.
He won that fight, too.
Yeah. He got robbed. I definitely think he should have won that one. You know, Neil Magny... Win or lose, he lasts 4 or 5 years, everyone he's fought has been a name I recognize, you know? But at the same time, dude,
Prates is very, like, Anderson Silva. Like, all of those losses are very early in his career. That's not related to the Silva thing. That's just how he fights.
Yeah.
All of those losses are really early in his career. And he really does fight like Anderson Silva. He's got his hands low. He's a very heavy counter striker. He uses his range very well. He's got big knees. He's just a sharpshooter, really. Very particular with his shots.
I meant to edit this in at work, but I must not have saved it. But yeah, those knees. So something I noticed a lot is that he'll kind of get caught with straight punches when he'll bring the knee up like a feint, you know, and he'll do that in the pocket with someone almost. He'll get caught in the face. So that's one thing I noticed he does not very well. But when those knees do land, they land with some fucking, like, when he actually throws those knees, he's not just like pawing them out there. They land with vicious intent. I mean, his last fight, he had that stop the dude with the knee to the body, and he had a fight in the LFA where, I mean, he doesn't jumping knee. He brings his knee all the way up from the ground to this dude's head to knock him out.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
There's the 2 fights of his you can find.
Yeah,
easily. Really.
I was gonna say, I think his last 4 wins, 2 of those have been by a knee. God damn it. Okay, giving my cat treats live on stream so he stops bugging me. So Lee has never been finished like KO TKO'd.
Yep.
From what I looked up.
Nope.
I think if anyone was going to do it, it is going to be Carlos.
His hands low style is not going to be great because Lee's got good volume.
Damn it. Hold on. I'm going to have to re-edit that. Just pick up from volume.
So, Prates has got the hands low style, which isn't going to be very good because Lee throws a lot of volume and he's got really powerful hands and leg kicks, and he just throws them in great volume and more of a brawler style, which Prates he'll sit back and he'll call it shots, but from what I saw, when he gets pushed against the cage, he kind of struggles a little bit, and I think Lee will definitely have that kind of game plan where he just pushes and tries to keep people on their back feet. He's a really powerful striker. He also can wrestle. He's got good wrestling. He just chooses not to use it, really. So, if he goes that route, I think that's a pretty easy path to victory there for Jing Liang there. He's like a Chinese Drew Dober. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
He's got the fucking chin, first of all.
Yeah.
He's just got the chin. He's like, he fucking mugs anybody that he faces off with. Like, anyone that he faces off with, he gets absolutely mogged by him. But he's got really good just hands, boxing, can get clipped sometimes. The only kicks he really throws are like leg kick type things, debilitating kicks, mostly just a boxer.
I feel like he
can wrestle, doesn't really choose to.
He gets clipped a lot, but his chin holds up very well. You know, he hasn't really been rocked.
Yeah, no, he's very, very durable.
But I don't know. I don't see like a clean go to sleep knockout, but if we're talking
TKO's possible.
If we're talking a path to victor, I mean, 9 KO TKOs or 8 TKOs in a row is just, whoo. And I think Lee, I mean, he should have won that last fight.
Yes.
But I think he is. No, I was gonna say I think he's on a losing streak, but no, he had knocked out or finished Salikov before that.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know.
His finishes are good finishes too.
It really depends.
He's entertaining. He's underrated.
It's been 2 years. He's had a back surgery. He's 36. This guy's 30. He's undefeated in the UFC.
He's only got like 1 fight in the UFC.
Is that true?
I think so. 1 or 2. Not very many.
Yeah, not very many, but
I think it's his contender series and then
Yeah. But either way, I mean, same number of fights, you know.
Yeah.
The by 2.
2 less.
I said the competition is definitely a lot less. But Trevin Giles and Charles Radke are still not like absolutely nobody. Trevin Giles fought. Who did I see him fight recently? My brain wants to say Pereira, but that
No.
wouldn't be right. Dricus.
Yep,
He fought Dricus.
that's right.
Yeah, he fought him. Poirier McGregor 3.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah,
fight
he
when
lost. He lost to Dricus, but
I watched that when I was doing research on Dricus.
But yeah, he is. I mean, Carlos still hasn't defeated absolutely nobodies.
If Lee decides to take it to the ground, it'll be good.
If he takes
If
it,
he doesn't, it'll be bad news.
If he takes it to the ground, most likely it's going to Lee. I don't think Carlos is gonna like put on a master class and completely
it's gonna be a harder
show up
fight
Lee.
than he thinks it is.
But yeah, I feel like Carlos. He's gonna hit him a couple times, and he's probably not gonna want Lee. I feel like Lee's not gonna want to sit there and throw hands for
No,
very
he's
long.
not. He's gonna land a couple, and the couple that he's gonna land aren't gonna be as hard as the shots that Prates are gonna be landing, and then he's gonna probably, hopefully, take it down if he's got a brain.
Yeah.
Moving on. Tuivasa and Rosenstrike. Oh man.
Tui at 15-7-0.
15-7, and four of those are in his last 5 of the losses.
Yep.
He's 1-4 in his last 5. He got knocked out no, I don't know if
He got submitted twice in a row and then knocked out
submitted
twice in
and
a
knocked
row.
out.
Yeah. 31 years young. His TKOs are tied with Rosenstrike. He's a fun-loving brawler with that classic heavyweight power. You know, he's in that 4-fight skid, being finished in each fight. He isn't the most technically sound. He isn't, like, trash. I mean, when he was fighting Tybura, he was throwing a lot of leg kicks, which was beneficial to him because Tybura was, like, very front foot heavy.
Yep.
And so that was working out for him, and then Tybura just, you know, got him against the cage, and that was it. But I mean, even then, like, even in his wins, like, the one I think of is Greg Hardy, the first fight that I saw of Tui, is he gets rocked, or not rocked per se, but he gets clipped pretty hard.
Often.
He gets clipped pretty hard by Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
And then comes in, and so, you know, it's kind of, that's just...
He's a very reckless striker with not very good defense.
It's how heavyweight works a little bit, too, where, like, anybody can almost knock out anybody. But, you know, I mean, he's beat Derek Lewis, Augusto Saki, Greg Hardy, as I said, Stefan Struve, Andrei Arlovsky. He's lost against Sergey Spivak, Junior Dos Santos, Cyril Gahn, Alexander Volkov, Sergey Pavlovich, Marcin Tybura. He's fought killers, and he's won and lost in emphatic fashion every single time. Yeah. So, you know, if you're not even like a fan of this guy specifically, you're still going to watch him every single time he fights, because he's either going to get finished in some spectacular way, or he's going to knock somebody the fuck out and drink beer out of a shoe.
Yeah,
the
shoeies.
Yeah.
He's just fun to watch, man. And I hate seeing him go on such a terrible losing streak because he's so fun to watch, and he's just a fun person. I like the clip of him. We might have to cut, and I'll have to find it to put, because no one's gonna know what I'm talking about unless we put it in, and it's too goddamn funny. But the video where he's like on Instagram Live with the Indian kid, and he's just dying laughing, that instantly made me like an even bigger fan than I already was. Because when I saw him drinking beer out of his shoe, I was like, what the fuck is this dude doing?
Yeah, no.
He's just a fun-loving guy, fun-loving brawler.
I wish that his recent losses suck so much too, because he was getting a bit of a media tour, you know, and then after the losses, the UFC just kind of hasn't invested as much into that stock, and it's like,
Yeah.
Win or lose, this guy's very fun. He's a great personality to have around. Rosenstrike, 14-5-0, 36 years old. Something to consider. You know, he has had, what is that, 7 less fights? What am I talking about? 3 less fights. I don't know what 7.
Math is hard. It's okay.
7? I don't know what I was saying. Anyway.
He's been less active.
Yeah, he's had 3 less fights with 5 more years of living. But, still tied for those KO TKOs. Yeah, Rosenstrike, I was talking to you about this earlier at work. He has won and lost almost every other fight since his KO over Alistair Overeem in 2019. I think there was some time in the middle where he lost 2 in a row or won 2 in a row, but it has been every other.
So he just won, guys. So math says Tui wins.
Mm-hmm. He usually loses against top prospects, which isn't Tui right now.
Used to be.
Notable wins over Shamil Gaziev. Was that the cardiac arrest one, or did I think it is just because it says retirement. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I thought he went to a decision with Gaziev.
When I looked it up, I'm pretty sure it said retirement. And if that's the one I'm thinking of, that's the one where Gaziev straight up is just too tired to go to a 3rd round.
Maybe you're right. I think you're right, actually.
Because that's one of his recent fights.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was against Rosenstrike.
Yeah, he was just too tired to go to the next round. That's right.
Yeah, that was the most crazy thing I've ever seen. He was he was tired by the end of the 1st round. I don't know if was that an elevation?
I don't know. I think he's just not good.
Yeah, it's funny too because he's before that he was 12-0. He was undefeated. He'd finished Martin Boudet.
I don't know. He's a heavyweight, so it couldn't have been a bad weight cut.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's 300 pounds.
Yeah, he had a... Yeah, just... It's so funny. So many people talked big about this guy that I've seen, not community-wise, but just I've seen people say it. And then anytime I see him fight, it's this... I don't know how good this guy is, or if he just had, if he has a heart problem or something. That fight was just whoa. It feels like sometimes I get these heavyweights behind the bars.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be ranked fighters.
It's weird. I feel like I almost don't have to take any notes on heavyweights because they're kind of just all, other than the high level ones, but anything below the top 8, 7 or 8, they're just kind of all the same fighters in different fonts.
Sometimes, especially if...
I believe Rosenstrike has a pretty extensive kickboxing record.
Yeah, the only way to really tell a difference anymore is if you spend a shit ton of time just watching all their fights, because I've, rewatching them, I've seen almost every Rosenstrike fight in the last couple, 4, I think since his Overeem one, because that's when he split Overeem's lip, and I liked Overeem. I was watching because of Overeem, and I can't remember anything that he has done other than that.
He's just
versus getting that knockout against when he got knocked out by Francis, and then when he beat Chris Daukaus. I remember seeing that, but I don't know.
I remember talking about it with my coach when he fought Gaziev. And we were just talking about his kickboxing record and just how much better he is on the feet. Or how much the advantage is on the feet. And we brought his cardio into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's Rosenstrike's got a much better gas tank than Gaziev. And that really showed. But the kickboxing record, and I'm pretty sure Tui just doesn't have anything before MMA, so that's not too good.
I don't think he started MMA I think he started
pretty recently, yeah. So with that, Tuivasa's got pretty poor striking defense. Neither of them are gonna really wrestle, I don't think. And Rosenstrike's probably got the the advantage with on the
He's technically
on the feet.
He's technically better.
Yeah.
There's.
I will say when he throws power shots, he does kind of. He lets his defense go a little bit when he throws power shots, and
Oh, yeah.
he does the lean back defense. A lot of people do the lean back defense on this card. Brates does that as well. I didn't mention that, but he tends to lean back for his defense.
And he gets
instead
caught
of
with
blocking,
that.
and
He gets caught with that a lot too. What I would notice when he puts his knee up to like bait that knee, he's like putting his head back and then boom, dunk.
Yep, Rosenstrike does that a little bit as well. He'll kind of roll and put his chin up in the air a little bit. And I think Tui, if he's been training better than he has been in the past and putting more attention to detail and putting things together and working on his defense, he has a pretty good shot at clipping him, but it's just going to be another rough one for Tui.
I think Tui's best bet is that he just counters with a cleaner shot while Rosenstrike lands. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like a Greg Hardy type win is how I kind of see it going.
That's what it's gonna have to be.
But hearts out for Tui.
Tui get the shoey.
Brains out for Rosenstrike. So we'll have to see how that one goes.
Yeah.
I'm
excited for this one.
Another one that's gonna hurt my heart.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
This one, we'll see.
Dan Hooker is just like geriatric almost with all the damage that he has taken, man.
His last fight was good.
It was.
His last fights he looked really good.
It was, but it's. I also don't think Jalen Turner's that incredible. I think he's a professional MMA fighter in the UFC, but he's a lot of what his strengths have been, what I've witnessed, is just his size and that reach. There's nobody really like him in the division, so it's people just we're having to get used to that. And I feel like I can't remember Jalen Turner's last couple fights, but I think
he fought Gamrot before he fought Hooker.
And didn't he lose to Gamrot?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Jalen Turner lost, and he just lost to Moicano. Beat Bobby Green, but, yeah. Oh, he beat Brad Riddell, too. I like Brad Riddell. That makes me sad. But, definitely not bad, but, like, beating Jalen Turner was pretty similar to when he beat, Claudio Puelles or whatever. It's like, okay, he can beat guys that are most likely not going to have a title.
He can be okay guys, yeah.
Yeah, and as to where, I think before the Islam Makhachev fight, for certain, I had an idea that he was gonna be one of those top prospects. And then it just, when Chandler debuted, I was like, all right, yeah, I fucking love Dan Hooker. And then just that overhand right that just slapped him. And then I was like, oh, this guy Michael Chandler's kind of good, huh? But yeah, and then goes out against Islam. And I'm like, all right, like, come on, beat Islam, blah, blah, blah. Gets fucking Kimura'd immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he's beating Gilbert Burns. Like, Dan Hooker is not trash by any means. That fight with Dustin Poirier is one of the greatest wars of all time,
so
dude. But at the same time, I think more so than Poirier for sure. A bit of Dan did not leave the octagon that night. A little
piece of him stayed there.
Stayed there,
definitely.
Man. Yeah, but to list off their stats, Gamrot 33, 8 KO TKOs, 5 submissions, 11 decisions. He's never been finished in MMA.
He's got a 90% takedown defense, by the way.
3-fight win streak.
Not like Hooker's gonna be shooting.
Yeah, exactly, right? That's not something he even has to worry about.
But interesting fact.
Yeah, he's definitely a very promising upcoming contender. Notable wins over RDA, Rafael Fiziev, Jalen Turner, Armin Sarukian. So, And that real only notable loss to Beneil Dariush. So,
Gamrot's he's got a really high takedown volume, but he struggles to keep people down. He's not very good at keeping people down, pinning them down. His top control has some things to be left desired. But he's
eh,
also really hard to keep down as well. He stands up pretty easily.
yeah, I mean Hooker's that fight against Islam made him look a little bit like a joke, but you just kind
That's
of
Islam, man.
it's Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
He those 7 submissions speak for themselves. He's got more than Gamrot. Definitely against probably lesser competition. Probably were
They're all early submissions. I believe.
I think he's got a Kimura or
He's
something.
got an
in the
underrated
UFC.
ground game for sure. His chokes are really good. He's got excellent chokes.
Do I think he's gonna show up Gamrot on the ground? No. Do I think there's a possibility?
Hooker's got the advantage on the feet, if you ask me.
Oh yeah. I what I'm saying is, does he have enough ability on the ground to maybe handle like not be kept down by Gamrot since he's not very good at it, not get submitted by Gamrot, get back to his feet and pour some punishment on him. I'd really like Dan Hooker to get some wins, but it's just, I mean, dude's got 10 more losses, and a lot of those losses are either finishes or very, very rough fights for him.
Yeah, Gamrot's defense, his striking defense leaves, like I said, it's not fantastic. It's definitely lacking. He throws with a really high pace though, and he's got good boxing. But he's got a good leg kick. He's got good feints. He's also got a really high volume and good high pace. He mixes his levels really good. He'll go to the body, go to the head. He'll use his straights and establish his range with his jabs and his crosses. His knees and his front kicks he'll throw to the body and use those to establish the range as well. Really good forward pressure. He'll blitz. He's got good combos. He finishes really well, so he'll sense a finish and he'll blitz really heavily for it and usually get it. If he senses the finish, it's coming shortly afterwards.
And Dan Hooker can definitely be finished by just getting overwhelmed early on.
Yes, he
by
can.
Those strikes, especially recently.
I'd give the submission advantage to Dan Hooker. I think his submission game, I think his chokes are going to be... I think he can attack the chokes enough that'll work, but it depends on how well Gamrot can defend those.
I don't think that Dan's going to get a submission by any mean. I definitely think if he's smart too, I think he can use those submissions.
He's going to have to establish his range.
Yeah.
He's got a good height and reach advantage on this one, and that's where he flourishes usually.
But when he gets to the ground, he could use those chokes to threaten, and then use that just to get up. You know, like definitely, I don't want to see him sitting there fucking trying to rip a guillotine. Jump a guillotine super hard.
Yeah.
But jump that guillotine and then use that second where your opponent's trying to pop his head out, and then do something with it.
Yeah.
But
his early submission wins, they give me a little bit of hope.
It's not impossible.
It's like, hey, I hope he does it, but most of his submission wins are chokes.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's got good chokes, and that's about.
I definitely don't see him.
It.
I don't see him choking Gamrot out.
I don't think so. Gamrot's gonna shoot a bunch of takedowns, and he's gonna overwhelm Hooker. It's gonna be how well is his ability to get to Hooker's legs and take him down. Because if Hooker can sit there and establish his range and use his jab.
He's
pump
very good.
His jab and his front kick. Get the jab to the head, front kick to the body, and start chipping away. It's a pretty good chance. His leg kicks are really good too.
He's got
great leg kick.
That kickboxing, that good
the city kickboxing style.
Yeah, when he gets kicked, he kicks right back. That firing back right after he gets hit. He's really good at that idea or whatever, however you say it.
He'll at least use his hands a little bit more for defense than some of the people. He still doesn't have great head movement, but he'll put his hands up by his face at least. He doesn't rely on like leaning back.
No, he's definitely got a cleaner like MMA guard than Izzy does. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Izzy still kind of keeps that very much down, hands down speed. We'll be talking about him in a minute though. So
yeah, there's a reason.
Well, for the next one, Steve Erceg and Kai Kara France. Both of these guys are former title challengers. 12-2-0 for Steve. He's 29. Only got 2 KO TKOs thus far. 6 submissions. He was on an 11-fight winning streak before his last decision loss to the champ, Alexander Pantoja.
Yep, coming off a fight with the champ.
He's crazy fast, and he's got some solid power when he does connect. He's got pretty good scrambles. He's decent at grappling in general. Not amazing. I mean, he's got the 6 submissions, but I've definitely seen him in some compromising positions on the ground in like lower level fights that I was watching.
And he's got a pretty big toolbox for jiu-jitsu. He's got a good jiu-jitsu game. He's definitely got the advantage there at the very least.
Oh yeah, over Kai, I'd say yeah for sure.
He's got really good top pressure, top game. He's really good at holding you down. He jumps on chokes really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He's really quick to jump on a choke and just chain those.
I noticed it was more of the grappling defense. I just noticed that there'd be situations where he'd be in a bad spot, but he was able to scramble.
He lacks defense in general.
Yeah.
He uses scrambles instead of pure grappling defense.
Yeah.
His takedown defense is pretty okay, but his stand-up defense is also kind of iffy. He's got a good chin though, so I mean, it is what it is at that point. If you can take a shot and you want to, take the shot, I guess. But I think you're better off you just don't get hit.
Yeah. The thing with Kai too is that
that right hand. He's got a really strong right hand.
He's got
quick strikes, man. He's super fast, and he's got extremely high volume when he throws.
I feel like Steve Erceg is faster than Kai, just from what I've seen, especially in the Cody Garbrandt fight. I feel like Cody was a lot faster with like when we're talking about like. Because action always beats reaction, right? So Cody was moving around very well, and then Kai just catches him with that overhand right and drops him.
Yep.
And Kai's fast, but with my eyes, Cody was out speeding him for the majority of that fight until he just got caught with Kai's power.
Kai Kara France has got better takedown defense than Steve Erceg, so I mean, I don't think Kai's gonna want to take it to the ground. Erceg's gonna want to take it to the ground.
Even then,
he's got a better jiu-jitsu game than Kai Kara France.
Even then, if Kai thinks that he has hurt Steve, he's gonna lose 50% of his IQ. Because in that Garbrandt fight too, he hits Cody hard twice. He gets him up against the cage. Cody baits him a little bit. He's moving his head. Kai swings for the fucking fences and Cody jumps down, shoots a double leg and throws him to the ground. Didn't end up going anywhere. Kai was able to get back up to his feet, but that was against a compromised Cody who's been KO'd so many times recently. I think Steve Erceg at this point in his career he's going to take advantage of those moments, and his chin's a lot better. I think Kai is definitely going to land some better shots, but
Erceg's clinch strikes are really good.
He's good too.
Like
yeah,
his elbows and his knees are underrated. I feel like they're really clean. He cut open Pantoja with a elbow right in the 5th round, like at the end, had him really hurt in the 5th round. Too little, too late.
Yeah, it was a close-ish fight from what I remember. Pantoja was winning a lot with that grappling.
Pantoja won. Yep. Yeah, it was the grappling because Erceg couldn't quite get his submissions off because he was getting out grappled on the bottom. He's usually a top game grappler.
Yeah, I feel like Urseg is going to be able to take Kai down. I don't think he's going to pull out a submission.
He's gonna he's like Dan Hooker. He's a taller guy. He's gonna establish his range. He's gonna pump the jab. He uses leg kicks. Kai Kara France has good leg kicks too, so they're gonna be throwing a lot of leg kicks at each other.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because Steve's defense is not great. He's got a chin. He's faster.
This is gonna be a close one.
But he's not that much faster, and I think Kai hits harder. He's had three times as many fights.
He throws more volume.
Yeah, he's not much older. You know what I mean? And he's taken some punishment in his losses. You know, the fucking to both the Brandons, Moreno and Royval, specifically. But it's really hard. It's really hard. There's a chance that Urseg is able to just stay on top of him and is faster and is just not going to get hit as much. There's also a chance that, like, in the middle of a Kai or in the middle of a Steve Urseg combination, you're going to get a left or a right hook from hell from Kai, you know, that's going to put him down. I think it's very possible.
Fight of the night, I think, for this one.
Definitely.
This one's going to be a banger.
Yeah. Definitely has... God. Definitely has the potential to be fight of the night. At the very least, I know it's going to be a good fight. I don't see either one of them. Even with the grappling from Steve Urseg, I don't see him just, like, shooting a takedown at the start of the round and sitting there for 4 minutes before he does
That's
anything.
not the type of grappler he is.
Right? You know, like, and Kai's going to bring that fight.
He's got good takedown defense, too. Kara France does. So
yeah.
It's not going to be easy to take
Kai's
down.
going to be talking shit. He's going to be goading him. You know, he's going to be bringing that fight to Steve Urseg.
Yep.
Steve Urseg's not going to have that, it's hard to think of the word, but that passiveness from Kai. You know, Kai's not just going to passively sit there and take something like that.
Yeah.
But
I'm leaning towards the Urseg side on this one.
I'll say Kai Kara France just to be devil's advocate.
Be different.
Yeah, to be adversarial. I definitely think either one of them could win. I think Steve Urseg shouldn't be counted out just because of his loss against Pantoja. He's gotten there very quickly, and I think
his other loss is very early in his career, too. So, yeah, 11 fight win streak. So.
Yep, literally. I think it was his first fight.
We'll see. We'll see if he can bounce back.
First, second fight or whatever.
It was early, something
yeah,
like that. Yeah,
had to be one or two for him to have 11 more wins. Yeah, definitely pay attention to it. This is our main event. This is the main event. Dricus du Plessis, 21-2, 30 years old. He's got 9 KO TKOs, 10 submissions. He's on a 9-fight win streak right now. He's got some of that unorthodox kickboxing, you know?
Very weird, just like awkward style all around.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm trying to... It was an interview and they were talking about it. Like, yeah. He's saying... They're asking, like, yeah, do you do that on purpose? Like, your awkward style or, like, your footwork? And he's like, no, I don't know what anyone's talking about. He's like, it's just how I fight. He's not doing any of that on purpose. Because people are saying, it's like, oh, he's actually way cleaner than he is. You know, he can actually strike clean. No, he can't. It's just how he is. He's very blitz heavy. He'll blitz in with his strikes. Unorthodox kickboxing. He's just explosive as hell. He's just super explosive.
He just pressures. He has a chin too. You know, he'll take anything that you throw at him.
He's a very high volume.
I think his fight against Strickland was pretty close for certain.
I think he lost the fight against Strickland.
Yeah, I think it was close, but it's hard for me to say. With those, I'm not a judge, and for that reason, when fights get that close off of numbers, it's like, I don't know, man. His wrestling is very underrated when he uses it. Those submissions, you know, He's only ever gone to decision two times in 23 pro fights.
Okay.
He's got those notable wins over Sean Strickland, Robert Whittaker, Darren Till. You know, he gets beat up a bit, but he seems to kind of like adjust and just go out there and outpower whoever he fights.
His pressure is really good. That's what he does. He outpowers because he's got the really good forward pressure with that awkward style. It's hard to read because he's learned to fight like that, assumingly to throw people off or just how the South African style is. I don't know, but he uses that with a high volume, and it just overwhelms people. They can't take the explosiveness, and it gets to people. He's got wrestling too. His takedown offense and defense are really good, and his submissions are really good. His defense on the submission sides, he hasn't had to defend against many submissions, so I can't really talk about that. But he's taken people down. He's defended takedowns, and he's got more submissions than he does KOs. So he's good in all of those.
Yeah.
The only thing is he's got a high guard. He's got like a high boxing guard, so he'll put both his hands up by his face and he'll leave his body open. And when you're up against a counter striker, kickboxer, world class like Izzy, it's not the thing you want to do, especially if you're going to go and try and blitz in with powerful strikes. Because Strickland beat Izzy with chipping away, keeping his hands closed and making as little openings as he could, chipping away at him.
Yeah, just
landed the one good shot and rocked him, and I don't think Izzy could get him I don't think he could get his wits about him for the rest of the fight. I think that one shot rocked him good enough that he was just kind of out of it for the rest of the fight.
Yeah, and I think Dreykus is going to probably do what Strickland did to Adesanya, but just better, unfortunately.
That's not how he fights, though. He's not a patient chip away striker.
No,
he's
not,
wild, and
but
he swings,
Adesanya,
and he blitzes.
I think Adesanya is very bad on the back foot. He's
very bad on the back foot.
He's good when somebody is standing in front of him and trying to goad shots, trying to make him fight back.
Yeah, when he's suffocated or against the cage, he does struggle.
Yeah, and I mean, usually that's how he beat Pereira that last time.
It's also how he knocked out Whittaker.
Yep.
Because Whittaker was coming at him and he leaned back and just countered.
Yeah,
he just counter-strike.
That's just that
he knocked him down with the same hook twice in the same fight.
And that's essentially what he did to Pereira too, is that weird hook that he throws. That's just kind of his thing, throwing it from like the waist like that. I feel like he's kind of given a little bit more key to beating him.
He's a very feint heavy striker.
Yeah.
He's a point kickboxer for like an umbrella term. He's got a point style kickboxing type thing. He'll use a lot of feints. He'll use counters, obviously. He's very patient with his strikes. So he'll sit back and he'll wait, he'll block, he'll dodge, he'll lean. He doesn't use his hands to block a lot. He uses his hands low. But that's just because his head movement's pretty damn good. It's that good to where he kind of doesn't really need to. He gets clipped sometimes. He's gotten the one stoppage against Pereira may be questionable, maybe not, depending on how you look at it. He seemed to be fine afterwards, so say of that what you will. But the shot against Strickland, that was a good shot. So he can get hit. It's not like he's got some untouchable chin because of his head movement and the way he leans with his block.
No way.
But he can get clipped. It's just pretty good to the point where he doesn't really have to block. He can block though. He does. When he's up against the cage, he'll put his hands up.
I feel like Champ Izzy and Challenger Izzy is a much different fighter.
They are.
We're going to be getting Challenger Izzy. I think he's going to be a lot more active.
He's a lot more active.
A lot more willing to throw. I think if he's able to find success early on and just kind of hit DDP while he's in front of him, it's just it's just going to keep building in Israel's favor. It's hard because I know Izzy's he's getting up there. He's not going to be fighting for that much longer. feel like a loss might make him retire.
It might. And
And
Dricus has a pretty decent path to victory with his takedowns.
Yeah.
Izzy doesn't have no takedown defense. He's got pretty good. They drill takedowns at City Kickboxing.
That's why I feel
they
like
drill them hard. He's got, I'd say, great takedown defense. It's not fantastic. And I
Yeah.
think Dricus has borderline fantastic takedowns. They're explosive. He uses them with his striking and just
I think
blast double.
DDP's best bet is to use his pressure, get Izzy up against the cage, get him to shell out from a strike, and shoot on him.
Yep.
Like, I think you rinse and repeat that. That's how you're gonna get a win for DDP. I think the way Izzy is gonna get a win is if very early on he takes that lead and gets respect from DDP and gets him on his back foot.
Yep, he's going to have to pressure. He's going to have to out-pressure DDP and just either that or find the opening in the explosiveness, which
It's going to be very...
he could do.
feel
I
like
think
it's gonna
he
be-
has a pretty good shot of doing that.
It's going to be very momentum-based. I don't feel like it's going to be a war so much to as...
Back and forth of war of momentum.
Yeah, whoever kind of starts picking up the strikes and starts getting the success, more so with it against Izzy, I feel like just, armchair psychologist or whatever. It's like he is going to get demotivated if he's not able to piece this guy up.
I think so,
Because
yeah.
he should have beaten the crap out of Strickland. He should beat the shit out of Dricus too. That was
math.
that was everybody's perception until the Strickland fight. Is like, yeah, he's gonna walk through Strickland. He's gonna walk through DDP. Like the only person in the division that anyone really wanted to see him against was Pereira, because that was like the biggest threat.
I will say, everyone saying that Izzy doesn't deserve this fight is forgetting the fact that before Izzy fought Strickland and DDP beat Whitaker, they essentially set that fight up, and DDP didn't want the fight, so then they replaced him with Strickland. So it's not like Izzy's completely undeserving of the fight, and he's not getting like some unlimited title shot glitch or anything like that. This was just a fight that was supposed to happen anyways. That's happening now.
My thing is just who else does it go to right now?
That too, yeah.
You're not giving it to
who else?
Pereira. Strickland, like, yeah, he was the champ, but I think the things that earn those automatic like rematches for the title are your Kamaru Usmans and your Israel Adesanyas, people who have had 11 title fights, 6 successful defenses. Like,
yeah.
Strickland beat Adesanya. He fought DDP. There was no immediate rematch. He didn't immediately jump on that. Izzy also wanted to take some time off, but
He's been very quiet with the time off too.
Yeah, and I
feel like he really worked his ass off without cameras and
because it's
buckled the fuck down.
Even Whitaker's 1-1, right?
Yep.
After DDP, when was the Paulo Costa win? That's an old fight, isn't it?
Those are old fights.
That's an old fight. I don't know what I'm trying to think of, but he obviously just knocked out Askarlov. Who did he fight?
Who are you talking about?
I don't even know, bro.
I
don't know. Either way.
Askarlov didn't fight either of these guys. I was like,
Robert Whitaker.
Whitaker, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, I was saying Whitaker. I was trying to say Whitaker's 1-1.
With Izzy?
No, it is his last 2 fights. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because it would have been Dricus and then, yeah.
Right? Yeah, okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. Yeah, but
I follow you now. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like I don't think he necessarily, especially against who he fought, like, I think the Chimaev fight definitely, if he wins, he should definitely get a title.
No, I think the Costa fight was in between.
Did he fight?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, because I'm thinking of Costa and Romero, and I'm like, that's an old fight And then Romero and Whitaker fought around that same time. So I was like, is that back when they fought?
Yeah,
But
it was
again,
Romero, Izzy, Till, Cannonier, Gastelum, Izzy, Vittori, DDP,
yeah. So
Costa, Alex
he's on a 2-fight win streak. Like, yeah, like
Whitaker.
Whitaker is. Yes, Whitaker's on a 2-fight win streak. If you're gonna give anybody the title next, it probably should be Whitaker. But he has also lost to this guy. He's lost to DDP. He and Israel Adesanya has not fought DDP. Israel Adesanya has all these credentials and all this success as a middleweight champ. I think it makes sense. I think you give Strickland somebody else, and it's hard. I really think Robert should get it next, and if Strickland wins again, then you should give that next chance to Strickland. But what I've been paying attention to at heavyweight, I mean, you got Jack Della Maddalena, right? Or is that
Jack
JDM?
Della Maddalena, no, it's welterweight.
That is welterweight, yeah.
JDM and Shavkat's at welterweight.
Yeah, because I'm thinking Ian Gary and all that too. It's like I'm trying to think of any contenders I can at middleweight right now. It's like who even really is there beyond those guys? I mean, Kelvin Gastelum, but he's pretty iffy right now too. I gotta check the middleweight rankings because it's like that undeserving thing. I just can't really think of who he would be fighting otherwise. Nasruddin
Imavov's, yeah.
Okay. Strickland beat him pretty handily, right? He fought Imavov somewhat recently. Yeah. Cannonier, maybe I'll get some slack for saying this. I think Cannonier is one of the worst fighters in the UFC. I'm trying to remember what
Brunson.
Yeah, the Derek Brunson fight is one of the most like laughingly. I was like upset when I was watching that fight. I was like, "What are these guys doing?"
Yeah, they're ridiculous. Yeah,
Brunson shooting a takedown at like 2 miles per hour from across the cage, and Cannonier's still going down, and then still somehow pulling out a win. It just was like, what the fuck was that? I don't think Cannonier's good. He's proved that he's good because I mean that leg kick stoppage against fucking Anderson Silva. He eked out that win technically over Strickland, which is another one I probably would have given to Strickland. But he's also had those boring fights against Izzy, against like. I just don't think he's that great.
No, Brunson's not that good.
Marvin Vettori isn't that great. Like, I don't see him beating...
Great or not, they're still the top contenders.
Right?
So it doesn't matter.
Right? But it's like... But I'm saying, like, even then, it's like, Vettori doesn't even deserve a third shot at the title. Maybe you can argue it against a DDP or a Strickland. But, and everyone else that's like going down the list: Brendan Allen, Paulo Costa, Jack Hermanson, Roman Dolidze, Hamza Chimaev, Cal. I can't say his name. But number 12 dude. I know he's a stud right now. Baraglio or whatever.
Kyle Baraglio, yeah.
Yeah. Miguel Pereira, Anthony Hernandez, Chris Curtis. Like, these guys aren't trash.
Barajo is fighting Cannonier.
Not a single one of them so far deserve a title. And so it's just the people who you can argue deserve it most are Robert Whitaker and Robert Whitaker. Like, yeah, I don't know. So all that crap with Izzy not deserving it, this and that. I don't think. Even then, though, to give those guys credit, I was saying the same thing about Izzy, where it's like there's no one's has what it takes to beat Izzy other than somebody like Pereira.
Yeah,
it has been shown, and even people that I think are really good. When Izzy was fighting his best, like I think he beats the piss out of a Miguel Pereira. I think he's just better at striking than Pereira, Mikael Pereira. I don't know, just in my head, especially before the Strickland fight, there's not a single person in the top 15 that I was like, yeah, that person's going to give Izzy some real troubles. And then Strickland goes out there and defies everything. And I think
sometimes it happens, man.
Yeah, this fight's really going to show.
Was that a good night for Strickland? Was that a bad night for Izzy? Was it both?
It definitely was. It was both. I can say pretty confidently. It's just how much, like, that percentage, how much of it was really...
Was it clean 50-50?
Yeah,
was it like 70% Izzy having a bad night?
Strickland had his number and Izzy had a bad night is how I see it. But it's very much like how much of that is Izzy going to only get worse from here as he's getting older? Even then, though, I mean, middleweight... I feel like those guys can go a little longer. Not like your heavyweights, but I could reasonably see Adesanya fighting until he's 38. You know, Bobby
38's a pretty reasonable number.
I think the problem is he doesn't want to be someone like a Bobby Green. Because, you know, I think if Adesanya fights till he's 38, 39, that kind of thing, his record's going to look a lot less like 24-3. A lot more like 26-5, 26-6. Like, he's going to start slowing down.
He's going to Tony Ferguson it.
He's going to start losing against people that would have never beaten him in his prime. And I think we might start, depending on how the rest of his career goes, you might retroactively start making that argument in the Strickland fight, where it's like, would Strickland have beaten Izzy a fight or two prior, even? Is that when his downfall really started? Because I think beating Pereira, like fighting Alex Pereira, to me is like fighting a Dark Souls boss. You know what I mean? Where it's like
you walk out and you see the health bar.
Well, yeah, it's like there's no shame in losing. Like, getting knocked out to an Alex Pereira doesn't like negatively impact your career to me. Like, other than obviously the CTE, the brain trauma of getting shut off, but it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's Pereira. Even John Jones, like, if he got knocked out by Pereira, somehow, like, flash KO'd before John could put his hands on him and submit him in 30 seconds, I would be, like, blown away, but they wouldn't be like, that's impossible that just happened. I'd be like, nah, I mean, that's Pereira.
Easy knocked him out, guys.
Yeah.
And if I had to give an official pick, I'd give it to Izzy just because he's one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah.
Top 5. I don't know where, but somewhere in the top 5.
Yeah, personality-wise, like, I think I like Sean O'Malley a bit more, but he has that same kind of vibe where he's a little cringy, but at the same time, like, I feel like he's cringy just because he's unapologetically himself.
He's just himself. He's a fucking dude. Like, he's a bro.
There's something about pretty much any person that if they were as open as Izzy was, that you'd be like, that's kind of cringy, man. But Izzy that's him, and he just owns up to it, you know? So, like...
Dreykus kisses his coach on the lips.
So
if we're talking about anything like that, we might as well bring that up.
Yeah, no, right? Yeah. Izzy baby birds his dog. DDP kisses his coach. Both of those things are acceptable in some cultures, you know?
It's fine, guys. Don't worry about it.
People are different. Even then, though, it's like heart says Izzy. I think I'd like to be able to look back on his legacy. I'd like him to win this fight. Maybe defend it one more time and then call it a career.
I want to see him get it, defend it against Strickland, and call it good.
Yeah, get back
that's my ideal.
Get back that one loss.
Yep, get the loss back because he got the loss against Pereira back.
Yeah,
and he's not going to get the. I don't think he's going to fight Jan. I don't want him to fight Jan.
That'd be really funny if that was like his retirement fight.
Shit, man, just go for the double one more time.
It wouldn't honestly be the worst thing ever if he let's say.
I mean, fuck it, why not?
Let's say hypothetically, right? He beats DDP, like beats the brakes off of him, beats Strickland in an impressive manner. And then he's like, all right, I vacate. I'm gonna take like 2 years to like bulk up. and then he's gonna go fight. Then he fights Jan and then retires or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that would just be a funny thing to see. You know, if Jan's still in the sport, Jan's gonna be older. He's taken some. I think he's taken a couple losses since then, or at least maybe it's. They have 2 draws against Ankalaev, or was it just a draw and then a bad fight or something like that? Or did they never even have a second fight? I just don't remember what happened to that. They were fighting for the title and now just
Yeah.
they're not even
I don't know if they
talked
ever
about
fought
anymore.
each other again.
Or
if yeah, I don't know. What
I
the
thought
fuck
they
happened
I
to
thought
that?
they had a rematch, but it was just like really boring maybe. Or at least it wasn't decisive enough. It's been weird since John left light heavyweight.
Yeah, no, they just never
Yeah,
fought
they
each
just-
other. He fought Johnny Walker instead.
That's right.
Ankalaev.
Yeah, and then Jan fought Pereira, which was weird because it was like, wait a minute, what? Shouldn't
Yeah.
Magomed the guy people think won?
Ankalaev
fight?
had a real bad run for a while.
Yeah, and he's not getting
Like not
I don't
like
think he's getting a chance at the
not-
belt anytime
no, like
soon
it wasn't
either.
even bad. It was just unfortunate because he had the draw against Jan and the no contest against Johnny Walker, and like a few canceled fights. I think he had
Yeah,
a
and
canceled
even
fight.
even this KO against Johnny Walker now, it's like it doesn't really mean much for him in the division, and they don't want to give him a chance at the belt again. So it's yeah. Heart says
says Izzy brain. Half my brain says Dreykus, the other half still says Izzy.
yeah, like reasonably, what my brain knows about MMA as well should be like it should be Izzy, but there's also this just like there's a time in every fan's life where they start seeing this stuff happen, the passing of the guard per se. Like you start seeing Chuck Liddell gets starched by Rampage, and then time goes on and John Jones beats Rampage. Like that kind of thing is where you see these people and it's like this guy isn't gonna beat this guy, and then they just get better
It
and
happens.
they do. Yeah, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
Comment what
This'll
you
be a
guys
good one.
comment what you guys think in the comments below. Who you think is gonna take it? Who do you think maybe deserved this fight over Israel Adesanya? Yeah, that's really all I gotta say. So
I'll drop my bets in the Discord once I get those whipped up. I'm gonna do a little bit more research tonight on some of the early prelims. I'll put those in the Discord for you guys. I don't require a payment. My money is your guys' money. I think that's bullshit. It's like $10 for my good bets. It's like no, share the wealth, guys. It's
Yeah.
Fucking fuck that. So
yeah, check that out. We stream us rewatching some old fights a lot of the time too. We might just be chilling in there and talking MMA, playing video games,
the more people join, the more active it'll be.
torturing AI.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah, we'll probably start doing a thing too where you guys, people who come in, can vote for an AI to be made. They can say, "Oh, I want it to have this, and that features or whatever," and we'll throw them in there. I know. Right now we got Sean O'Malley, Colby Covington, John Jones, Conor McGregor. Next 2 I want to make are Dana White and Chael Sonnen. So possibly by the time this is up, those bots will be added. So
Yeah, right now I think John Jones is covered in applesauce. Conor McGregor's dead, and I gave him a proper send off with some proper whiskey, and he's not haunting me anymore. I don't think he was haunting me in the first place, but he just guaranteed it. I killed Colby Covington and then put him in Brazil, and then it made him alive again because he hates Brazil
he's
so much.
surrounded by Brazilians. Oh, this is perfect. I'm in the heart of the filth, surrounded by the stench of failure and mediocrity. You think you can intimidate me? You think being in Brazil is gonna scare me? Yeah, that's a little tease.
He was dead before this, guys. Just so you know, I shot him in the chest because he was being a dick.
I want to see if I can find the thing with John. Okay, hold on. John Jones sloth arc is like my favorite thing ever, and I don't know why.
We'll clip it in. We'll put it in there.
What? Okay, I guess I turned him into a hyper feminized woman in Siberia. Hom- Homeless man in Syria. Okay.
Hey, as I'm looking through my Instagram right now, Aaron Blanchfield and Rose Namajunas just got confirmed, guys.
Okay.
That'll be a hard one for Rose. Blanchfield's good.
Okay, I'm not gonna scroll through it forever, but oh wait, no, okay, I think I just now found it. I just found it. I'm editing this one, it don't matter. Okay. John Jones is transformed into a sloth, eating an apple that's too hard for his soft teeth. No, this can't be. I'm John Jones. I'm a fighter, not a sloth. Looks at his hands, and they're now soft and clawless. Oh man, this is crazy. Tries to speak, but his voice is now a slow, slurred mumble. Apple, so hard. Tries to bite into apple, but teeth are too soft. Ow!
He's crying.
Whimpers,
in pain.
struggling to chew through the apple. This is. Suddenly, everything goes dark, and all that's left is the sound of John Jones, now a sloth, munching on the hard apple. Munch, munch, munch.
The munching sounds that it captioned in are amazing.
Yeah, it's like chewed slowly, trying to break down the fibers. Oh, what? Oh no, I'm a sloth. Apple. Focus.
Apple.
Yeah, he also had ADHD, so he kept on like forgetting that he was a sloth, and then like was losing focus on eating the apple. All right, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. This is gonna be a great card. Hopefully, some fan favorites, and Dan Hooker, Tui, Izzy. Maybe not so much Izzy as a fan favorite anymore, but our favorites.
That's stupid.
Yeah, hopefully he can. These people can get their wins back. All right, this was the Garage. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.